So Darius just got cut. Um, I wasn't expecting that. Uh, but I understand it. I understand it because he's asking for 3 years with a lot of money guaranteed. Man's 32 years old. And yeah, he was a Pro Bowler last year, and yes, the year before, and he's been one of the better corners in the league as of the last couple of seasons. But, and there's a big but, we're learning from our past mistakes. I'll elaborate. Outside of Malcolm Jenkins, we kept a lot of players that we shouldn't have kept past their prime, and we've been doing that for a very long time. We get very friendly and cozy with a certain player, regardless of how they do, regardless of how they play, and we keep them around, waste money on them, and don't focus on the areas that we really need to focus on getting better at. Right now, with TJ Edwards and Kazir White both leaving us with Nakobe Dean, the lone linebacker, that's an area we need to focus on. With Javon Hargrave leaving and potentially Fletcher Cox, because we don't know his status, the defensive line is also a very big area we need to focus on. If CJ Gardner-Johnson walks, safety becomes a very important position to focus on. So there are a lot of places, a lot of areas that the Eagles need to focus on. And I'm sorry, I got a notification about Baker Mayfield going to the Bucs. That surprised me. But there are a lot of other areas the Eagles need to focus on getting better at, whether that's through free agency or through the draft. And they can't afford to keep around a player, regardless of how they're playing. And it really does depend on the position as well. If he was anywhere else, linebacker, defensive front, offensive lineman, like, we would probably consider something much more different. But he's a corner. Corners past 33, 34 years old typically don't fare too well in the National Football League. Yeah, Darius Slay might be an exception, but I didn't really see him doing a whole lot from the Dallas Cowboy game and onward when we really needed him to step up. Didn't really see him do that. And you could say the same thing about James Bradbury. But outside of that light tug, that hold call at the end of the Super Bowl, I felt like James Bradbury played pretty darn well all season, pretty consistently throughout the entire year last year. So, and he was willing to take a little bit of a pay cut to stay in Philadelphia because he believed it fit him the best. So, if Darius Slay really wanted to stay in Philadelphia, take a pay cut, take a smaller contract to help benefit the team and what we're trying to build around everybody here, because this is a team that just was this close from winning a Super Bowl. This is a team that was right there on the doorstep of doing something spectacular, didn't get it done. Now we need a few more pieces. Now we need more things to be added to help ensure that we have the best opportunity to get back to where we want to be. And you don't want to take a pay cut. And you don't want to help benefit the team by sacrificing a couple of millions. Listen, I understand this is their livelihood and this is to feed their families, but my goodness, they're getting paid millions of dollars to play a sport. And if you cannot accept like 20 million guaranteed as opposed to 25 or 30 million guaranteed over 2 or 3 years, then I'm sorry, but we do not want you here. You will not benefit us in the long run, because in 3 years' time, you'll be 35, 36 years old, and you will not be playing at the same level and will be wasting money on you. That's what Howie Roseman is saying. It's purely business. It's purely keeping the Eagles afloat because the offseason just began. Like, we have a lot more needs than one sole guy. Right now, I would say I would take Bradbury and CJ Gardner-Johnson over just keeping Darius Slay, especially after losing the linebackers and Javon Hargrave. So, yeah, I like where we're at right now in the secondary. If we get CJ back, that'll make it even better. Then we can really focus on linebackers, pass rushers, and whatever else we need, depth at O-line, things like that. So, yeah, thank you for everything, Darius Slay. You've been great to us. Best of luck wherever you go. Hopefully you go somewhere and get the money you're looking for. I mean, despite the age, you definitely do deserve it because you are a great player and a really fun person. So, best of luck to you, man. Thank you for everything. Fly, let's fly. Let's hope we get CJ back, and I'll see you all most likely later today with more updates about the Eagles. Peace out.